Hello and welcome. I am Scarberlock, and this is City of Villains on the Rebirth server. We are with Nightmare Lass, our level 41 Mastermind, who has 10.5 million XP, a million and a half to go to get to level 42. And Weston Phillips is offering me a new contact. And transfer. Let's go with turn stops. I don't know what he's doing, but we'll take him. And now we'll ask for available missions. And he says something extraordinary has occurred. Seems Paragon City's finest took action to help poor little Francine. This is the teacher that we kidnapped. Luminary and Blue Steel broke her out of Arachno's custody. These kind of last-minute heroic rescues cannot be tolerated. She has to be recaptured. Blue Steel's been sighted back in Paragon City, so it's probably just Luminary and Longbow protecting her right now. And luckily for us, her friends have unknowingly betrayed their location to me. You have 90 minutes. Alright, so I don't know if we're going to be able to beat Luminary. We'll see. We are on +1. If we can't beat her at +1, we'll reset the mission and do it at +0. I won't make you rewatch it, but I will bring you back for the Luminary fight. I really do wish that that they had balanced things in such a way that the elite bosses were beatable in missions that were reasonable challenge to you, rather than to beat the elite boss, the rest of the mission has to be cake, and for the mission to be challenging, the elite boss is impossible. I really feel like they didn't quite balance it right. Now they did balance it, I think, fairly well for Scrappers and Brutes and Stalkers, but I think for other characters, like you just can't either overcome the regeneration, or most of the time you can't defend yourself adequately against the unbelievable power level of their attacks. And, you know, for a Mastermind, they just wipe your minions. And the minions are, you know, -4 or 5 to them and just getting absolutely crushed, one-shotted. They do these alpha strikes and just, like, area effect wipe all the minions out. And, it's unfortunate that they didn't somehow come up with a better way of balancing it. You know, tougher than a boss, but not quite as tough as the elite bosses are, I think. Or else find a way to beef up the actual +0 encounters so they're not such ridiculously easy missions that you're yawning your way through until you get to the elite boss. Or either that, or if the mission's going to be a yawner, make it shorter. Right, if I only have to fight 3 spawns and then fight the elite boss, fine. But when you're going to put me on a map where I have to spend 40 minutes churning my way through white cons, because if I dare go to yellow cons, I'm going to be able to beat the boss. That's a waste of my time, right? So either make the whole thing challenging or make it short. I love this game, but I think there are certain fundamental design elements that could have been improved to make it a better game. Let's put it that way. Today, which is in early December of 2020, is a good day for me. I submitted the last set of grades for my last class full of students. All my final grades are in, and I don't have to do any more grading for 2 months, because we're not going to start classes again until the beginning of February. So that's a good thing for me. That doesn't mean, you know, my mother's interpretation of this is, oh, you're off for 2 months. No, I'm not. I've got to prep classes, and if I wait until, you know, the day before classes start to try to prep them, I'm going to be in absolute hell. Much worse hell than these demons could ever do to anybody. So I do have to do a bunch of prep work. Now, I'm reteaching 2 of the classes, so I have to make some changes, but I can reuse some of the material. It's not 100%, you know, obviously, that I can reuse, but I can reuse like 50-60% of it, which will make those 2 classes a little easier to get through during the semester, and will allow me to focus on the 3rd class, which is a class I've taught before but never taught online before, and I'm completely revamping because I haven't been happy with the past iterations of that class. It's called zoology. So the zoology class is going to take up a lot of my time, and I've got to start maybe next week working on some of the projects that I'm going to have the students do, because if I don't do those, are very time consuming to come up with and make sure that they're balanced right. They're balanced in such a way that the students can do them and learn from them, that they're challenging without being too challenging. Speaking of balance, like in counterbalance, right? Trying to make it challenging enough that they learn from it and they have to demonstrate their learning so that I can assess their learning, but not so challenging that they struggle too much, and not so easy that they can get through it without learning anything. And it's very difficult striking that balance, and it's extremely difficult. I got freak shows here. It's extremely difficult doing it the first time you come up with a project. It sounds reasonable when you first create it, and then as you see what the students are doing, you realize, oh, there are loopholes, and the students are able to turn in something that's way shorter and less involved than I was picturing, because my instructions technically allow it, and I can't actually dock them points because they didn't do what I wanted, because I wasn't exactly clear on the instructions, and they found a loophole, right? And so these things take multiple iterations, no matter how many years of experience. I've 13, 14 years of experience as a college professor, and then another something like 8 years as a teaching assistant, so I've got like 20 years teaching experience. But still, it's hard to picture exactly how a given project or a given module in a course will work on the first time, or even the second time, until you've done a few iterations of it. So maybe if I teach these classes online for another 2 or 3 semesters, heaven forbid that I'm stuck doing that, but if I do, maybe I'll get really good at it, because you kind of learn as you go. And it sounds a little crazy. I think of like the movie My Cousin Vinny, where Vinny's a lawyer, and he says, I'm going to learn as I go. And she says, learn as you go? What were you doing in law school, right? Learn as you go. What were you doing getting your doctorate in your science? Like, what do you mean learn as you go? Don't you have 20 years teaching experience? Yeah, but some things just have to be done by trial and error. And there's just no two ways about that. But that's all in the future. For today, for the weekend, this is a Thursday. Today and the weekend, other than cleaning my house, which I do need to do, I've neglected a little of it while I've been doing the grading. I've got to do the vacuuming and clean the kitchen the next couple days. The rest of everything is pretty clean right now, but other than cleaning my house, which won't take too long, I'm going to give myself a break until at least Monday or Tuesday, and then I will get started working on next semester's classes. But for now, just having some fun. So I sense a lot of House Flipper, a lot of City of Heroes, and some Iron Sworn in my future. But I also sense I do have some work to do, fun work to do. I've got to do some D&D stuff. One of the things I've been struggling with is things like naming NPCs and designing their personalities. And one of the things I see playing Ironsworn is that you can come up with a pretty cool NPC by just making some random rolls on tables and finding out that the NPC has a particular role, like they're a boat builder, a ship builder, and they have a certain disposition that they're curious, nervous, and impatient, and that they have a goal, which is to, find curiosities, right? And then you think, okay, what does that mean? And then you come up with a character. Okay, so this guy is a boat maker who used to be an adventurer, and he likes finding treasure, and he likes telling stories about finding treasure, or whatever. And then you just, kind of come up with it, and you randomly roll a name and everything. And so that's useful, but it's hard to do in a VTT, a virtual tabletop, like Foundry, to be like looking up stuff and rolling manually. But what I've been able to do is I found a mod that lets you upload into Foundry a comma-separated list of elements for a roll table. So, for instance, D&D provides these like lists of, say, 50 Roman names or 50 Elven names, and I actually have a list of 700 and something, the official list. I guess the Romans kind of kept official records of the gens, the family name, the nomen, as they call it. And there were something like 710 known registered nomina, which is the plural of nomen. Those are sort of the family names. They also used a praenomen, which is the first name. There were about 36 male and female praenomina in use over the imperial period. So there weren't that many different first names because you were known mostly by your last name and then what they called a cognomen, which is a third name. It's kind of like a nickname. So you could imagine the name John, praenomen, Smith, nomen. So John Smith, I don't know, John Smith Gamer, right? And John Smith the Gamer is different from John Smith the long-nosed, or what have you. And so I found a list of somewhere on the order of about 80, something like that, cognomina for men and women and what they mean. And so by combining the praenomen, the nomen, and the cognomen, you can get a unique Roman individual in terms of a name. And so I was keeping these on Excel, and I was marking the ones I used so I didn't reuse them. And this way my players wouldn't say, but didn't we meet, Lucius Mencius Mamercinus before? Oops, yeah, I forgot. Now I got to change his name. So I've been marking them off so I don't reuse the same combos. And after being able to import these hundreds of names into the roll table using the CSV importer in Foundry, I found that you can set Foundry up to only sample a given thing once. Like, in other words, you set up whether you can roll with resampling or not. You say no, and after it's rolls the 97 and picks that name, it locks it. So then it will roll die 100 again. But if it gets a 97, it must re-roll or pick the next one up or down or something. It's got an algorithm, I don't know what. And this way you can ensure that you don't repeat. And so I've been slowly importing. I've done all the human. There are 3 different types of human names because there are 3 different sub-races of humans: hill folk, which are Romans; desert folk, which are like North Africans; and river folk, which are like Egyptians. And I've done the elves, so now I've got to do the dwarves, the halflings, the gnomes, and so forth. So that's going to take a little while, but that's one of the things I need to do is work on the names so that, and I also imported something called the UNE, the Universal NPC Emulator, and that allows you to sort of roll up a random profession and personality for the NPC and attitude. And I also imported Ironsworn's mechanism for developing NPC personalities, and I'm going to combine the two. I'll use them at different times. Ironsworn's is a little easier. I feel like UNE's is a little more detailed, but a little harder to do. And I even created a script for the Universal NPC Emulator because it has like 6 steps, and the script, it's like a macro, and you just hit a button and it does like all the steps at once, and then it sort of reports the results. So the one thing I have to remember to do is turn off the is set it up so that the, let's see what's back here. I don't have any bosses yet, but I have the feeling we're going to get ambushed. So you can tell it, where was I? I was talking about the Universal NPC Emulator, but I don't remember what I was going to say about it and there is Luminary, who's an elite boss. Right, so let's back up. Back up, guys. Back up. Back up. Back up. Pull him back. Alright, now stay here. No! They're gonna aggro her, aren't they? See if I can teleport this guy over here. We got very lucky that we did not aggro her. I saw the freak show, but I didn't see her. Alright, back up. Now I wish I could remember what I was saying about the NPC emulator, but it's gone because I was distracted by the battle. Alright, so I'm going to see if we can pull this guy, but we need to buff. And Luminary is an elite boss. Is she +0? She is a +0. No, she's +1. So we're screwed. We're probably not going to be able to beat her. We'll try. Well, I'll try once. If I can't get her, I'm going to go down to +0. I'm not going to try it over and over again because that's boring. See if we can pull him in. Alright, I think she's coming. Oh no, she's not. Alright, let's go get her. Get her! I believe she has an Alpha Strike and an Omega Strike. We'll see. See if we can cut her defense down. Alright, that's good. Oh, she's not so bad yet. Oh, there it is. See if I can bring my guys back fast enough. Why is Curly not healing? Oh, he's dead. We gotta bring him back. Come on. No, she's just too much. The AoEs. It almost seems like these guys are designed to burn Masterminds. Because there was just no way. We're not going to be able to beat her now. I'll try to give these guys some defense. Of course, now she's probably going to kill me. There it goes, AoE. Nope, she killed me. Alright, we're going down to +0 because I can't beat her at +1. I'll bring you guys back to watch the final battle with her, but I won't make you watch the rest of the playthrough. It's a waste of time. Alright, folks. We are back. I hope we're back. Yep. Screen went black for a sec. But I guess we're okay. Not sure what's going on there. We're at +0. Luminary's a red con to us. See right there. So we're going to go ahead and do our buffs. This should work, I hope. We'll see. Took some extra lux for me, just in case. Teleport. There's some guys over there, but let's just kill her. Should be alright here. Look at that, she already killed one guy. Yeah, I don't know how to keep my guys alive. I can't even keep them alive when she's a red con. I might not be able to do this mission. Try to bring Curly back out. Try to bring my other guys back out. Now I gotta rebuff them all. You gonna get her? Come on, guys. Might be alright, maybe. Give Curly some defenses. And there was another AoE. Yeah, she just does so many of them. You just can't keep these guys alive. Here comes her Omega Strike. Yep. Alright, we got her. Bring the little guys back out. Yeah, they just can't hold up to her. Alright, you guys stay here. Let me go get Jerk Face over here. Come with me. I was trying not to aggro those guys, but I will. So now we're going to lead her all the way out, which is going to be great. Through a bunch of white cons who can't do anything to us. Yeah, they're going to be ambushes, but the ambushes will be of no consequence because they're all white cons. Now, the trick is to leave this guy who's from the ambush and not deal with him until we're ready, because usually killing the last guy of an ambush causes the next ambush to spawn. So you can kind of cheese it a little bit by not killing the very last guy of the spawn. Right, so that ambush came after we killed the other guy. And we don't have to protect her because they're not trying to kill her, they're just trying to kill us. We don't need to awaken. Delete that. They're all white cons, so they're of absolutely no consequence, and this is going to be a super boring run out. Like, even more boring than normal because they're of no challenge. Right, they're white cons. I mean, I could, like, friggin' solo them without my minions. You guys follow me, please? Why are you standing in the doorway? Come on, attack. Man, they're terrible at following orders. So I didn't clean everybody out of here. I just cleaned the path to her out. Now, of course, she got lost. As always. I have to say, if they had been trying, and I've said this before, if they had been trying to make these lead-out missions on purpose, trying to make them suck, they could not have done any better job than the way they designed them. Like, if they weren't trying to make them suck on purpose, they sure as heck did a good job of it. Let me see if I can target her. I'll just let my minions attack whoever comes near. They should do it on their own. This way I don't lose her. I wouldn't do this with like white cons and stuff, but or sorry, with yellow cons, but with white cons, I don't have to worry about it. They'll just take care of it. You don't have to optimize fighting white cons. So again, I find it really frustrating that the sorry, I had to sneeze there. I find it really frustrating that the whole entire mission is absolutely ridiculously easy. But Luminary was basically as tough as she could be, right? Any tougher and we wouldn't be able to beat her. But these guys are just like idiotically easy. Other than defeating Luminary, the main challenge of this mission is trying to get the stupid NPC to follow me. It's actually harder than the entire rest of the mission. Are you gonna kill him? Come on, guys. I'm trying to keep her targeted. Will you please? I mean, I want to keep her targeted so I know where she is because she keeps getting lost. And I know she's following me. And see, what happens is, the reason they get lost is, you see, she gets stuck on my minions and gets caught behind the wall, and then if she loses me, she says, I don't know where you are, and meanwhile I'm like 3 rooms ahead of her, not realizing she got caught. See? She did it again. Stop it. Come on. Oh my gosh, look at this. Could she go any more slowly? She's lost again. This is because of the minions. I wish you could attack these NPCs and just kill them. Even if it made me fail the mission, I would actually do it. Good. Fail the mission, she's dead. Put me on a different branch of the story arc so I don't have to deal with this idiot. And now the stupid part. You got to get all the way over to this. Because the NPC has to come within a certain number of pixels. Unbelievable. I hate missions like that, I really do. And I feel like there's a much higher proportion of them in the later content and in the City of Villains content than there was in the original. Right, of course there was no leading out in the original game because they didn't have that algorithm. Alright, Weston Phillips. Is that the end of the story arc? Yes, it looks like it is. Poor little Francine Prim. I've got channels in Arachnos. I'm going to get every minute of her destruction recorded. I think I might even leak it out around the Isles. Seeing the horrors visited on that girl should crush the spirits of everybody, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so that's the end of the story arc, folks. We have defeated Francine Prim. We're almost at about 30 minutes, so I think we're going to stop there. And I'm going to, I guess, grind my way to level 42, and I will see you in, I guess, a few days when I'm level 42. Until then, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Villains on the Rebirth server.